The capture of President Maduro. Woo, the reactions are crazy. A lot of people in America, Venezuela, Chile, Argentina, all over the world are doing reactions right now. I got a collection of reactions on this video that'll explain to you kind of how I feel. And these people are from Venezuela. They want to go back home. So we're going to get started with this video, and you guys let me know whether or not you agree with how these people feel, or if you think they should still stay living up under the rule of Maduro.
If you are not from Venezuela, you better shut the fuck up. I've seen a lot of videos of gringos trying to explain Venezuela to Venezuelans. You don't even know the difference between Venezuela and Mexico. You can't even point a Venezuelan a fucking map.
I had to cut that real quick. She was about to get it in, man. She was finna cook y'all. She is from Venezuela, so you can tell she's extremely happy about it right now. I mean, if you were a Latin woman, and you know she's trying to get into you, you start hearing all that they start speaking Spanish. That Spanish comes out. Even when they speak in English, they get they start telling you history and shit. They get to cooking. I'm like, excuse me, I'm just coming for some taco sauce. I ain't want the hot. I just wanted the mild. She started getting it in, boy. That girl's finna go. But I got her playing again later in this video. But I had to start it out with her. Just to let you know, these people are very passionate about Venezuela, very passionate about going back home. So for you Americans out here with your little picket signs and protesting, go talk to a Venezuelan. You ask them, how do they feel about it? We don't care how you feel about Trump. Oh, I don't like Trump. Don't nobody care. These people want to go home. They're tired of living up under that chaotic rule over there. Now, my man LV Nation over there, he did a really good video, and he's got a clip where Rachel Maddow, a long time ago, was talking about how Maduro was a bad guy. He was like Putin. He was like Kim Jong and all these people, and he shouldn't be in power. He's a dictator and all this. And now it's funny because these same Democrats today are saying the exact opposite of that. See, this is how they do the 180. They feed you this narrative and feed you this narrative and feed you this narrative. And when the narrative changes, they don't even apologize for the old narrative they fed you. They still making you think we know what we're talking about. Well, you just fed me a narrative a year ago, and now you switched. It's like misinformation, how they fed you all this misinformation. And then when the truth came out, they switched their story up, but they never apologized for telling you the old way.
To this energy you had, right? She was basically saying that Trump was just like Maduro. So she made a list of all the dictators that are very bad for the world and are threats to America. But for some reason, she's now changed her mind. She was comparing Maduro to Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong-un. Just take a listen to this.
Gives money to Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. And Xi Jinping sends a love note to Kim Jong-un today on his country's birthday. But they are all led by rulers who are all interested in staying in power for life and making sure that the people of those countries never rise up against the strongman form of leadership that keeps them under the boot.
Where is this energy? Where is this energy today? Rachel, we need you back. You looked much better back in 2024, by the way.
Yeah, he got it in with that one. He kind of caught her in that. He said, hey, just a year ago, you were saying this, and now you're flipping. And see, in this next clip, I got our very own Somali American fraudster saying what the Venezuelan people need and what they don't need, because she kind of knows what people needs because she's been running scams in America for how long now? Taking pictures with fraudsters for how long now? Millions and trillions flowing out of our country into Kenya, Somalia, China for how long now? Yeah, let's hear from the fraudster herself, Ilhan Omar.
We've sort of set the stage for where we are arriving today. This particular bullying and the use of sanctions to eventually intervene and make regime change really does not help the people of countries like Venezuela.
Yeah, that was kind of rich. Coming from somebody who's defrauding Americans right now, telling Americans that you know what Venezuelans need. Now, you already lied to the Somalians, told them they're going to come over here and get jobs and everything, not come over here and do fraud. But you got them doing fraud. And then you're lying to the American people saying you're not doing fraud when it's clear you're doing fraud. Even your husband is scrubbing his website from all the Obama administrators that used to be dealing with your husband now. So Like I said, we know a fraud when we hear one. So to hear you speak, man, that's probably something we don't need. So now we got AOC. So they asked AOC, so what do you think about this, AOC? And of course, in her own twisted way of word salad and everything else like that, she can't denounce what just happened, even though the Democrats and everybody just over a year ago was saying how Maduro is a dictator and he's bad for the people and he's just like Putin and Xi Jinping and he's bad. That's what they were saying a year ago. Now that Trump went and cleaned it up, they don't have any voters coming over. The Venezuelans were their future voters. This is our voting pool. We're going to have Somalis. We're going to have Venezuelans. We're going to have Colombians. We're going to have Mexicans. We're going to have all of these people coming to our country voting Democrat because we're going to promise them the world when they get here. Now she's like, well, let me let you hear her talk.
I'm wondering if, what are your thoughts on the Venezuelan crisis that's happening right now, and if you would denounce the Maduro regime?
Yeah, so I think that this is absolutely a complex issue. I think it's important that that we approach this very carefully. One, I'm myself, just like anyone else, who is absolutely concerned with the humanitarian crisis that's happening. And I think it's important that any solution that we have centers the Venezuelan people and centers the democracy of Venezuelan people first. I am very concerned about U.S. interventionism in Venezuela, and I oppose it.
So this is what cracks me up. People like her, they're opposed to U.S. intervention in Venezuela, but they're not opposed to people in Venezuela coming to participate in our elections. They're opposed to America involving themselves in all of these countries over the world, but they're not opposed to these people from these countries coming over, involving themselves in our government. You see how the Democrats operate. It's slow thinking, like we can't figure out what they're doing. You guys are promising all of these third world countries that you're allowing to be deep into poverty. You're allowing it by not giving them true assistance of building their country. You're promising them, don't worry about your house. Come to our house and help us build our house. Because they know if you come to America and you vote for us, we stay in power as Democrats. And not only that, we can keep the fraud going. We can get richer. Look at all the Democrats making $130,000, $140,000 a year. All of a sudden, they're worth $20 million, $30 million, $40 million 5 years later. How'd that happen? Oh, because I'm buying property. Okay, you making $130,000 a year, but you buying all of these properties off $130,000 a year, and you living off $130,000. Nobody's falling for it. They're using all the people from around the world to come to our country to give them power. They don't want to go to their country to help them achieve power in their own country. Power to the people, not power to the Democrats. Give power to the people. Let them stay home, fix their country, help them say, hey, what's wrong with your government? Oh, we got a dictator. He's beheading people, decapitating people. He's doing crazy stuff, throwing everybody in prison and everything like that if they just disagree with him. Oh, tell you what, come to America. We'll make sure you guys got a place to live. We'll give you a car, give you free food and everything. And all you got to do is vote for us. Okay, so how does that help my home country? Oh, we're not really worried about your home country. Come to America. We'll take care of you. That's Democrats for you.
Here's an actual Chinese guy explaining how what happened last night did irreparable harm to Chinese influence.
This is the part every dictator, strongman, and global South leader should be replaying on loop. Because being China's partner doesn't mean protection. It means exposure. China doesn't shield you. China doesn't extract you. China doesn't intervene when you need it the most. Yeah, China would host you politely and smile with you for the cameras and promise you the world. And then, step aside when pressure escalates. The next day, the Chinese Foreign Ministry would issue a statement of strong protest and then turn the page. If you are an ally of China, you're not behind a shield. You are standing under a spotlight. And when the music stops, Beijing is already gone.
And bingo, in one night, every leader in Latin America realized it is time to decouple with China and align with the superpower in their hemisphere, the United States.
And now people are realizing it was a power play. Not only was it to free the country for the people of Venezuela, But it was a power play because they know China, Russia, all the operatives in that land have been extracting resources out of that place and ain't been giving them people nothing. So America's like, you know what? We're tired of them taking from you coming to our country, taking from us, and then China's making off with all the oil so they can keep filling up all of their ships and everything, pretending to protect Venezuela. We're going to fix it all. We're going to readjust all the pieces so everybody gets what they're due. You guys deserve your country back. China's got to go back to their hemisphere. We'll take care of what's over here. That's how it really works.
This one's coming from an American actor called Rafael de la Fuente. He's pretty famous on Instagram, and this is a video he posted about the situation of Venezuela.
Okay, as a Venezuelan American, I got some shit to say. My family, my parents, my sister, my extended family, all lost everything. Their work, their savings, their investments, gone. Wiped out by a narco dictatorship that has held Venezuela in a death grip for over 25 years. And what happened to my family has happened to millions, and yes, millions. The Venezuelan exodus is the second largest displacement crisis on earth after Syria. This is not just a tragedy. It is one of the great humanitarian disasters of our time. But the suffering doesn't end there. This regime has jailed hundreds of political prisoners. Thousands have been murdered simply for speaking out. More than a third of the population has fled. 1/3. Not for better opportunities or for the American dream, but to survive, to live, because staying often means death. And while the world may see Venezuela as a collapsed state, what it is in reality is an occupied one. Our territory, our natural resources, and our institutions have been overrun by hostile foreign powers. Iranian militias, Chinese corporations, Russian intelligence, all exploiting our country with impunity. Venezuela is no longer just a local crisis. It is now a geopolitical threat that endangers the entire Western Hemisphere. It has become a launchpad for an authoritarian expansion in the Americas. And in the midst of all of this, one woman has dared to lead the charge for freedom. Maria Corina Machado. In 2024, against every odd, she led a peaceful democratic uprising that won the election. Her team smuggled physical voting receipts out of the country, hard proof of victory that the regime tried to bury. Her courage has lit a fire in the hearts of millions of Venezuelans desperate to believe that change is still possible. But now some have questioned her decision to dedicate her Nobel Prize to Donald Trump. Okay, I get that. But here's the truth. It was a brilliant strategic move in the global chessboard of politics. Maria Corina is no fool. She knows exactly the kind of man Trump is. She knows how much he campaigned for it, loudly and relentlessly, to win that very same prize. She knows how symbolic and personal that recognition is to him. And precisely because of that, she understood that this gesture might be the thing that keeps his attention focused on Venezuela at a time when US presence and pressure in the Caribbean is rising. She didn't dedicate that award to flatter him. She did it to protect and preserve the one kind of power that could help shift the course of history. Because for her, this isn't about pride. It's not about optics. It's about freedom. And let's be very clear. Maria Corina is not asking for the US to invade Venezuela. She's not campaigning for war. Venezuela is already invaded. It is held hostage by a narco state, overrun by foreign agents and enemies of democracy, Russians, Iranians, Chinese, all operating freely, weaponizing our land and resources to expand their influence across Latin America. What Maria Corina is calling for, what millions of Venezuelans are praying for, is the support of the only military on earth capable of countering that threat and helping to free our people. This is not imperialism. This is liberation. She's not playing partisan games. She's playing for Venezuela's life. Because this isn't theoretical, this isn't academic. This is life or death. So yes, it is time to honor her bravery, but more importantly, it is time for the world, especially the free world, to recognize what's at stake. The fight for Venezuela is a fight for freedom, for democracy, and for the stability of an entire continent. If we truly care about liberty, human dignity, and peace in the Americas, then Venezuela's fight must matter to all of us. Que viva Venezuela, que viva María Corina Machado.
So for all you Americans sitting here, commenting, running your mouth about what's going on in Venezuela, these are actual Venezuelans in Venezuela saying, we live here. We know what's going on. You guys only see what's in democratic American media showing you what's going on. We live it. America's lying to you. It is not all peaches and cream over here. It is not just he's only keeping the oil in it. No, he's doing some heinous things. People cannot even vote in a diplomatic election over there, a democratic election. When they do vote, they lie about the votes, or they put people in prison, or they kill people because they want to retain power forever. That's how dictatorships work. These people are standing up for their country. You got to admit, they couldn't even go outside and celebrate. Not before yesterday. They tried to go outside and celebrate somebody else. They all got put in jail. God just told you exactly what they would do to them. But people sit in America not even understanding or believing it. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. I tell you what, you go to Venezuela or you go to a country to live up under a dictatorship and you see how you like it. You try to voice your opinion. You try to be a free person, start a business or anything else. See how you like it. Then you can start saying, oh, I know how it is to live up under a dictator. These people are telling their story for a reason.
I'm Venezuelan, and let me tell you something. This is the happiest day of my life. They have massacred us, intimidated us, humiliated us. And today we finally recover hope. It's been 25 years of dictatorship. How can you defend that? They have forced more than 8 million Venezuelans to flee the country, including me. And I'm not going to let anyone to tell me that this is not good for us. This is the best thing that could happen to Venezuela. This is what all Venezuelans want.
It's 4:30 in the morning. Let's go wake up my husband and tell him that Nicolás Maduro was captured by the United States. Joel. Mi amor.
Tío, amor.
Capturaron a Nicolás Maduro.
¿Eh?
Capturaron a Nicolás Maduro.
Mentira.
No.
Eso es jodiendo, no capturaron nada. Mentira.
Joel, ¿qué hago yo levantándote a las 5 de la mañana diciéndote esto?
No, eso es mentira. Sufran, coño, que sufran. Celebrar, coño, celebrar la libertad, coño, la libertad. Gracias a Estados Unidos. Dios mío, qué notición, qué noticia. Mira aquí.
Te dije.
Ahora vienen los cabrones estos, ahora que vengan estos ahora, están cagados. Cagados están.
Cuba, que es un acto criminal.
Acto criminal es lo que tienen con ellos, lo tenían con los venezolanos. Es un acto criminal. Es un día emocionante. En muchos sentidos.
Makes me tear up, man. My eyes are watering.
A message to my English-speaking friends, because I'm already seeing people are organizing protests, hands off Venezuela, let's defend Maduro, we love dictators. Do not, for a moment, let your hatred and disdain for Donald Trump, an unsavory character, have you defending the dictator of my country that was destroyed by him and Chavez and their system 20 years ago. We Venezuelans are very, very happy that our dictator has been arrested, removed, and will be put through a trial. It's the first time we're seeing justice in 26 years. Now let's hope that they get the rest of the criminals out of Venezuela, and then we can return home.
Mami, buenos días. Capturaron a Maduro.
Hola, amor.
Mentira.
Amor, sácalo, Maduro.
Mentira. Ay, bendito sea el Señor. Ay, Dios mío, gracias. Gracias, Dios mío, gracias. Nelson.
¿Qué?
Capturaron a Maduro. Capturaron a Maduro.
¿Es verdad?
Ya.
El diablo, espérate, me van a matar.
No te lo puedo creer, esto es increíble. No lo puedo creer. Dios mío, gracias. Ay, gracias.
I did not vote for Trump. Not that I was excited to vote for Kamala, but I did. But what I have done is facilitate food, medicine, basic essentials for children in Venezuela for over 10 years. I have developed close relationships with families there, with mothers there who have watched their children die because you cannot imagine the conditions in Venezuela. You cannot imagine parents unable to get the basic essentials for their children. I've spoke to families, to mothers who watch their children die on the floors of their home. You cannot imagine. I've been posting about Maduro and the state of Venezuela for a very long time, over 10 years. So before you sit and criticize, and I can't pretend to know how this will impact America, I'm honestly just so focused on the relief I feel for the people of Venezuela. So before you want to politicize this and make this a Trump thing, look into the conditions and the quality of life for how people have been surviving and living in Venezuela. Venezuela is not occupied today. Venezuela is liberated today. Truly, learn about it, read about it. Again, I am not saying that this isn't for the oil, all that. Okay, maybe it is. Maybe it's truly sinister. But for the people of Venezuela today, this is a good thing.
If you are not from Venezuela, you better shut the fuck up. I've seen a lot of videos of gringos trying to explain Venezuela to Venezuelans. You don't even know the difference between Venezuela and Mexico. You can't even point a Venezuelan in a fucking map. You don't know what is to live in starvation. You never saw a family member dying because you didn't have the medication, while the members of the Chavismo are walking with Rolex in their hands. Do you want to know how many people died trying to come to America, going through a jungle? Do you want to know how many women were raped there? We are 8 million of Venezuelans who have left Venezuela. You don't know what is to live like that. You are too freaking busy eating your Starbucks with almond milk, you motherfucker. I have a question for you guys. Where were you when they were killing us? Where were you when they were killing students who didn't have any weapon? You were too freaking busy drinking your Starbucks with oat milk. So you better shut the fuck up and take Venezuela out of your filthy mouth.
And that's how she really feels. That's why I had to say that to the end. That girl got it in. She is truly passionate about life in Venezuela. She knows what it's all about. So all the out here pitching this geopolitical rhetoric and talking about who he is and this is who Maduro really is and blah. You know what? Talk to people from Venezuela. Listen, learn. I think they know how their families are living. I think they know how they're living. Listen, learn. You don't get to dictate what these people can cheer about. Listen, learn. You don't get to tell these people, oh, you can't be happy because the dictator is out of power now. You guys got to keep that dictator in power and keep immigrating over to America so we can keep you under control over here. Listen and learn to what these people are going through. Stop thinking you know everything just because you know a few fancy words off of Wikipedia. It don't work like that.
To all my American friends, today Venezuelans woke up to the best news we've received in decades. I confess that this morning I couldn't fully understand my own feelings as I read the news. Seeing bombs and explosions in my country was something I never imagined I would witness, and it was hard to believe. But it was real. The United States was military entering our capital, Caracas, and capturing the tyrant Nicolas Maduro. I want to thank you on behalf of my family and the Venezuelan people, because it was your President Donald Trump, your government, and your country that made possible what we couldn't, capturing the dictator Maduro and bringing him to justice. For many years we tried, truly, we tried, but we always knew that without the military help of a larger and more powerful force, we would never succeed. Elections in our country were always a circus, a show, but the greatest country in the world decided to act and carried out what might be the most decisive military operation of our lifetimes. Nicolas Maduro is now in the hands of justice, and the United States will run our country until a trustworthy transition takes place. I gotta be honest with you, I never thought Venezuela would become the 51st state before Puerto Rico, Canada, and Greenland. 2025 was difficult for us, especially for those living in the US. The narrative about Venezuela was that we are a narco state that sent criminals and mentally ill people to America. 2026 begins completely differently, and I couldn't feel more at peace or more grateful. God bless America and free Venezuela from socialism. Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. President Donald Trump.
I'd like to thank you for watching this video and chilling with us and getting a more broad understanding outside of our own feelings about the people of Venezuela and what they're going through. Give them a chance to speak, them a chance to stand up for their own country. Us protesting their happiness is stupid. Us protesting against their dictator being out of office so they can live looks real stupid. It's like we're protesting to keep them oppressed. The last time we saw that was the Southern Democrats mad that they had to free the slaves. Remember that? Civil War. Another beat and I'm back at it. We get the barbecue back like a bad habit. I ain't have it when a young buck was growing up. Now I rhyme full time on YouTube, showing up every day. I'm blowing up spots when I'm throwing up. Watch for the West Coast and watch how we going up. Y'all see it? He and Marcus Murray drop a hot track, so you know I gotta hurry. I ain't gotta worry, cause he always be on time with it. We about to get it, turn back, you fit it. Get a cup, sit it in the front, it's the barbecue. Welcome to my channel, it'll always be a part of you. This is what my ought to do. Constitution articles sticking to your ribs like boats covered in barnacles. Success moving in silence, and I ain't gotta rap about violence. Stop playing with me. The OG, and know y'all been waiting on it. I'm old school, always had some datings on it. 100%, never had no flaking on it. Passing game, always put that patent on it. No shade, 5-star rating on it. Laying back on the beat, no breaking on it. I'm at peace with the street, no hating on it. Making deals worth a meal, then we shaking on it. Welcome to the barbecue. It'll always be a part of you. Welcome to the barbecue. Go on and grab a plate or two. Stop playing with me.